The premiere episode of The Last of Us is filled with subtle nods to the video game and carefully crafted details that enhance the storytelling. Sarah's t-shirt features the fictional band Halleck & Drops, identical to the one her character wears in the game. The tour dates on the back correspond to locations Joel and Ellie visit, including Boston, Pittsburgh, Jackson, and Salt Lake City. Sarah also picks up a DVD titled Curtis and Viper 2, one on the series of movies that Joel loves, and is a nod to a discussion between Ellie and Dina in The Last of Us Part 2. Additionally, the birthday card she intends to give Joel is the same as the one from the game's prologue. However, at least in the show, he gets to see it. The second episode introduces the concept of fungal tendrils, replacing airborne spores as the infection's transmission method, a significant deviation from the game. However, not completely new as an idea. The thought that the infected were connected in some way was an early concept for Neil Druckmann when creating the first game. However, it was quickly dismissed as the mechanics developed. Another sneaky little hidden gem comes when Tess sacrifices herself to allow Joel and Ellie to escape. Eagle-eyed viewers and big Naughty Dog IP fans might have spotted an Uncharted Easter egg in the second episode as well. The lighter Tess uses to blow up the Capitol building was modeled after Sam Drake's lighter from the game Uncharted for A Thief's End. Not only is this a nice nod to another Naughty Dog creation, it also acts as a homage to the wonderful Troy Baker who played Joel in the Last of Us game, and also Sam Drake in Uncharted 4. Although this episode diverges from the original game interaction with Bill, it offers a different chance for him. The original actor who played Bill, W. Earl Brown, confirmed that Bill and Frank were indeed an item, rather than just two guys surviving. This is shown in game through subtle dialogue delivery. The choice to change this to explore the relationship between Bill and Frank offered a heartfelt story of love and survival. The use of Linda Ronstadt's song Long, Long Time is more than just a title reference. It's woven into the emotional DNA of the episode. Bill and Frank play it on the piano when they first meet, and Joel and Ellie listen to it as they leave the town having read Bill's farewell note. One of the episode's most striking and subtle homages comes in its final shot, a slow zoom out of an open window. To the casual viewer, it may seem like a poetic moment, but for gamers, it's immediately recognizable. This image is a direct reference to the menu screen of the original The Last of Us game. Joel and Ellie encounter a group of revolutionaries in Kansas City, a shift from the game's Pittsburgh setting. This change allows for the introduction of new characters like Kathleen, adding complexity to the human conflicts in the post-apocalyptic world. Choosing to change episode 4's location from Pittsburgh to Kansas City gave the showrunners more creative freedom to expand on the human dangers in their post-apocalyptic world. This swap also allows for the introduction of Kathleen and her group of revolutionaries, one of which avid The Last of Us game fans might recognize as Jeffrey Pierce, who played Tommy Miller, Joel's brother, in the game series. A key hidden detail lies in the episode's title. The phrase directly references a line from the song Alone and Forsaken by Hank Williams. This classic country song plays while Joel and Ellie drive through the decimated Kansas City as they're ambushed. It's also a direct link to the same scenes in the game. This episode sees Joel and Ellie team up with Henry and Sam, two brothers trying to escape the revolutionaries. As the four head under the city and into the service tunnels, they discover a room decorated like a kindergarten and strewn with toys, books, and children's drawings, notably one depicting two figures labeled Our Protectors. The drawing is of two men identified as Danny and Ish. This illustration mirrors a collectible from the game, where players learn about Ish through scattered notes. Ish, a former fisherman, established a safe haven in the sewers during the outbreak, eventually joined by Danny. Together, they built a community, safeguarding its members and fostering a semblance of normalcy amidst chaos. Though one day tragedy strikes and infected find them, Neil Druckmann noted that there wouldn't have been a good way in the show's format to fully explore Ish's tale, but the creative team still wanted to honor his significance through this visual cue. Joel reunites with his brother Tommy and Jackson and discovers he helps run a community that contrasts with the desolation of the rest of the US. In the original game, Joel and Ellie reunite with Tommy at a hydroelectric power plant near Jackson, which we get to see in the episode, though our dynamic duo walk by it after stopping briefly to discuss how it works. This dialogue is also lifted straight from the game. Once in Jackson, we get to catch a small glimpse of safe town living and see Ellie sitting down to movie night, where residents are watching the 1977 film The Goodbye Girl. This is a very poignant and very deliberate movie choice by Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann. The story of Goodbye Girl includes the subplot of an unexpected familial-style relationship forming between a young girl and the man subletting her mother's spare room. The two eventually find themselves in a surrogate father-daughter relationship. Elliot, the man in the movie, even has a much-loved guitar. Sound familiar? Episode 7 adapts the Left Behind DLC from the original game, diving into Ellie's backstory and her relationship with Riley. A standout moment in both the game and the show is the scene set in an abandoned mall arcade. In the game, Ellie and Riley encounter a broken arcade machine. Riley, wanting to give Ellie a joyful experience, describes an imaginary fight between characters from a fictional game called The Turning. However, the HBO adaptation takes this moment a step further by including an actual functioning arcade cabinet, and not just any game, but Mortal Kombat 2.
This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Though this may seem like a major departure from the game's approach, it's actually much closer to the game than you think. The Turning was created in homage to Mortal Kombat in the original DLC. This is due to IP legal constraints. It's not usual for different gaming studios to advertise each other's IPs in their own work, and the legal costs alone would have been far too immense for Naughty Dog. However, thanks to HBO's licensing capabilities, the showrunners were able to use the real arcade game and help Neil Druckmann realize his true vision. Those die-hard game fans out there are unlikely to have missed this, but if you don't know what Troy Baker sounds like and looks like in real life, you may have never realized the OG Joel himself was right there, ready to kill HBO's Joel and Ellie. Yup, David's right-hand man James in this episode is Troy Baker, and he gets sliced almost in half by Bella Ramsey's Ellie when she chops him with a machete. For those of you yet to catch up with the new season, here's your brief warning to avoid spoilers. The second season opens with Future Days. The episode has jumped forward 5 years after the events of season 1. Ellie and Joel are now settled in Jackson, Wyoming, though their relationship is strained. The episode itself is a direct reference to the now iconic song by Pearl Jam, which holds significant importance in the game. Big gamer fans have been concerned about whether this song would make the series in any capacity, seeing that the HBO timeline is set 10 years earlier, and the Pearl Jam song actually came out in 2013. However, Mazin and Druckmann have already admitted that they didn't care. The song Future Days is too important to dismiss due to something as banal as timelines. The second episode delivers a seismic shift in the narrative. Joel's brutal death at the hands of Abby is a direct adaptation from the game, but the show adds its own emotional depth. Director Mark Millard focuses on the aftermath and the characters' reactions, emphasizing the emotional impact over the violence itself.
I need to thank you.
The most haunting Easter egg features Ashley Johnson's cover of Through the Valley. Johnson not only played Ellie in the game, but she also portrayed Anna, Ellie's mother, in season 1. This heartbreaking moment comes full circle when we hear this song, which is closely associated with Ellie in the game. The Last of Us series has intricately woven hidden details and Easter eggs that enrich the narrative and pay homage to the original game. From subtle visual cues to significant character developments, the show offers a layered experience for both new viewers and longtime fans. Thanks for watching ScreenRant. Remember to like, subscribe, and always look for the light.